Hello, Cancers. This is an interesting reading for me because the song that I heard was an old song from childhood. Nobody loves me, everybody hates me, sitting in the garden eating worms, 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 worms. And it struck me it's that sense of, it's like sitting in hurt, sitting in loneliness, sitting in all of that. And of course, Cancer, we've been talking about you evolving into a new way of living your emotions. And what I heard from Spirit was an emotional power pack. It's like some of you are developing or are going to receive an emotional power pack, because that story, that nobody loves me, everybody hates me, sitting in the garden eating worms, 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 that's the child view or the child energy of dealing with intense emotion. And what I'm getting from Spirit is this, that it was quite a bit. So I'm going to try to slow it down. Cancers, you've come in with the ability to feel deeply. We know this. And we have talked in the past about cycles of emotion and the ability to go deeply into emotion, and that is a gift because you're able to understand and go into layers of emotion and really distill the nuance of what's been going on. And that is a gift that not everybody can do. And part of it is because you were wired that way. Astrologically, energetically, you're wired that way. The moon, the unconscious, the subtle, the unknown, that's the planet that rules Cancer. So it makes sense that you would be good at that. Thing is, not everybody understands that. And certainly as children, Cancers can be perceived as moody. Cancers can be perceived as overly sensitive. They're not overly sensitive, they're just sensitive. But to people who don't understand that and who can't help, which very few adults can, can't help children handle the depth of emotion that they're experiencing, often what they'll do is they'll just try to shut them down. And what that does is it can cause you, if you're one of the people that's experienced that, it can cause you to just feel like you're wrong for having emotions, which can cause you to shut yourself off from them. Or cut yourself off from them, but also not just cut yourself off for them, feel bad for having them and feel bad in them because nobody is helping you move through them. The beautiful thing about emotions is that they are an energy, they have a momentum. They're meant to move through you and to teach you. And that's why Cancers can be great teachers, because with the ability to do that, they can also help other people do it. Once you've experienced it in yourself, you tend to be able to lead people and guide people in a similar path and contain it in a way where it feels safe. If you didn't have that as a child, which I'm guessing quite a few of you didn't, then sometimes you grow up feeling as though you're a victim of your emotions. Nobody loves me, everybody hates me, sitting in the garden eating worms, 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 because you get stuck with that almost you've got the resources of a child in many ways. Now, I'm not saying all of you, this won't be for all Cancers, and it won't be just for the week of August 11th. It's going to be when it resonates, if it does. But for those of you now who have been really growing, and I know a lot of Cancers have really been growing through the old way of dealing with emotions, the protective barriers, the codependency, the attaching to something on the outside, dealing with other people's feelings instead of their own as a way to kind of stabilize. A lot of you have worked through that or worked through a lot of that. Now what Spirit wants you to know is this. Your emotions are your strength. You are not a victim of your emotions, and you're meant to remember that as you cycle, you can cycle through them. You can deliberately cycle through them, that you have the choice. You have the choice to not feel as though not actively believe, let me put it that way, not actively believe as though your emotions are a bad thing, or that you are a victim of them, or that you have no control over them. Your emotions are there as a part of your energetic foundation of who you are. And as you learn to understand energy and emotion, and learn how to breathe and learn how to ground yourself and understand the beautiful mechanism of how your system deals with emotion, what you become is you become so powerful. You become such, oh my God, if you want to be a healer, whoa, it's all there. If you want to be a counselor of some kind, a mediator, in any area of life, the ability to be able to help other people understand their emotions and help them hold their emotions while they can learn how to work with them, man, that is so powerful. And that's very much what the world needs right now, because the tendency is whenever we go into deep emotions, people who are not used to navigating them can get stuck in them for a long time. And cancers, often you have gotten stuck in them for a long time. But what you're learning now is you don't have to. You can choose to shift it. And it may happen like that, and it may take time. But realizing now that you can manage your emotions, that you're developing a new relationship to your emotions. You're developing a new relationship to how you manage your emotions. It's all part of the same thing. You are in a place of such power right now, Cancers, as you're doing this. And you are being told, you know, this is about opening your heart in a way where you don't have to be afraid of the heavy emotions. You don't have to be afraid of emotions. This is you opening up and being able to really fully experience the power of who you are at a much deeper level. I would say at a soul level, because you've come in with a reason. You have come in with a reason. Anybody coming in with that kind of power at this point in time when emotions are running rife, it's powerful. And again, it's not necessarily that you're going to work for the United Nations. It might be you managing one child's emotions, and that child may do something magnificent or nothing, or maybe they're just going to be joyful, and that's going to help the world too. It doesn't have to be, as I said, taking over the United Nations and healing the world, although why not? You've got angels. You have got angels with you. You are being reminded that you have got angels with you in this process. That you don't have to get stuck in heaviness. Grief, which is probably one of the most intense emotions, actually is one of the most liberating ones. You can drop the weight of stress. You can drop the anxiety and the pressure of, that's not exactly the right word, is it? How do you want me to say that? This is you understanding that you get to drop the idea that your emotions are a burden. Because by learning how to navigate with them, you become masters. You become masters of emotion and transformation. Transformation and healing for you, and in whatever way you want to work with it for anybody else if you do. Okay? You will come upon your patterns, and you will start identifying your patterns and how you work with it. This is learning how your mind works, but realizing that your mind and your emotions are not separate, and they do not have to be separate in order for you to be able to work with them. In fact, the more you can integrate the two with this new understanding of how they work, the easier it's going to be for you to move through it and integrate what you need to integrate, learn what you need to learn, drop what you need to drop. Okay, Cancers? I'm not sure what I'm going to call this, but this is like you've got an emotional battery pack here that just amped you up. Take care, Cancers.